So now we're going to do a tutorial on doing a basic sculpt as a sort of foundation for a head study or a character sculpt. So basically just a basic sort of humanistic head form. So again, starting with the sphere, and I'm going to turn symmetry on, and we can see the symmetry line in the middle. So the first tool I like to use for this is the grab tool. So click on the grab tool, make sure global is off, and using my mouse scroll wheels pressed down, I turn my sphere slightly to one side so I can see it in profile. And I want to sort of elongate and make a sort of chinny egg shape. So just continue to play with the size of your brush, making it a bit smaller to kind of refine a point and a chin. Oh, maybe that's a bit too much. Control Z. I'm going to turn it back to the front, sort of like a teardrop, upside down teardrop shape. Make that a bit bigger and pull it down a little bit further, round it out. Now, if we turn it to the side by pressing Z, we can see that it's pointing out a little bit too far to the front, so we make it bigger and we just pull it down to give it a bit of sort of face forwardness. I'm going to use Shift, holding Shift down to smooth it out a bit, and we can see a sort of basic head shape. Just sort of grabbing it around. It's very simple. You can take the back of the head out a bit. Sort of just trying to remember what a head looks like. Go to the top, maybe pull out the sides a little bit, just to give it a bit of forehead. And, oh, it's a bit pointy at the top. Shift down smooths it out again, or grab and just push it back to the sort of shape. Still looking very pointy at the top. Just lower that. Just sort of tweak it to give it a bit of a humanistic shape. If, of course, that's what you're after. If you're after an animal, you might want to look at different shapes to model into. So basically all we're doing here is using the grab tool. That kind of gives us a good starting foundation for our head shape. The next thing you want to do is make a bit of a neck. So turning to the sort of bottom of your sculpt, you've got the back, turn it a bit to the side so we can see what we're doing, and hit inflate. And somewhere between the chin and the back of the head, we want to sort of extrude by using inflate a sort of lump to create a sort of neck shape. I'm just going to lift up my strength a bit. I might go to draw, you can see what that does. That's sort of creating a sort of protrusion. And back to grab, just to pull it down a little bit. Now it looks sort of more like a hairstyle than a neck, so we want to draw it right in there at the back, creating that neck shape. Pulling it out a bit using grab. Grab's one of my most go-to tools. Just refining a bit of a neck shape here, and then back to tweaking a bit of a chin, taking the forehead down, scrolling in. It's a very elongated head. I'm going to just lift that up a bit. Holding Shift to smooth. bring the size down a little. Okay, we have a pretty basic head shape here. You can even use inflate again if you'd like to create a sort of shoulder section. So just inflate the sides of the neck a little bit. Perhaps use draw. Might ramp up my strength a bit. And pull down the size of my brush. Too much. And my favourite grab. And sort of create sort of shoulders. And a very basic head shape with a little bit of shoulders. Pull it out a little bit more. Grab inflate again, just to create that sort of shoulder shape. And inflate through there. And G for grab. I'm going to try using the shortcuts. Yes. You can also pull it back down a bit. Now we're getting a bit of a basic character. Z to take it to the front and zoom in. Now I'm on grab, I'm going to hit global and I'm going to just raise my object to the center of the screen. So that looks great to me. Okay, that's very basic. But now we're going to sort of add a little bit of detail so that we know where things go. So again, I'm going to use the inflate tool. But this time I'm going to hold down Control to create some eye sockets. Strength's not very high, so I'm going to go up on the strength. Oh, that's size, oops. Up on that strength. Control Z, Control, down we go. Just holding down the left mouse and sort of rubbing a bit. How deep are those eye sockets? Pretty good. Alien, but that's okay. Back to G for grab, or the grab tool, take global off, and just sort of start bringing that in to create a bit of a shape for eye sockets. At this point, if you've got some reference material like of skulls and stuff, it's also a good thing to look at just to see the shape of eye sockets. Just to give you a good starting point. So now we have some basic eye sockets. You might want to pull that bridge of the nose in a bit. All of this can be tweaked later. This is just a very basic foundation for a head study, of course, or character sculpt, as we like to call it sometimes. Now I might go back to inflate and just do a little bit of inflation here to create a sort of a nose shape. Oh, that's a bit much. And grab again, just to pull a little basic nose shape into action. Shift for smooth. Still on grab, just refining those details a little bit. Just alternating between shift for smooth and grab. And that's given me a fairly good beginning. And might just want to pull the chin up. Now you're sort of really starting to just refine things, so I'm just going to pull the chin out a little bit here. Perhaps look at creating a jaw. And zooming in, and now I'm going to go to the crease tool just to define that nose a bit. Now the crease tool is a bit like a sort of a line, an indent. Actually, I'm changing my mind. I'm going to hit inflate first. Go quite small on the size and just sort of articulate some nostril-y sort of shapes there, as you can see. And then I'm going to go back to the crease tool and just zoom right in and draw around. Hit shift for smooth. Inflate, holding down control to create some nostrils here. And then G for grab. Just refine that a little. Shift for smooth. And we're still on G for grab. I can also hit crease here, and then holding down control will get the opposite in a sort of ridge line. That's quite strong. So I might just pull my strength down a little bit. And using shift to smooth it. Oops. Control and crease. Just creating a bit of a bridge. G for grab. Moving things around a little bit, and shift for smooth. Giving us a very basic nose shape. And then some lips perhaps. So again, I will go to inflate and lift my brush up to a bigger size, a little bit, not too big. And just remembering we've got symmetry on, working from the center or in and out of the center, we can create a sort of basic lip shape. Now that's looking very, very protruding and strange, so I'm just going to use the shift to smooth it into a sort of moundy shape. And then I'm going to go to crease, take the size down, and somewhere through the middle there, I'm just going to score it in. If it's on a lower strength, you can go over it a few times and you get a bit of a subtler look. Just sort of use a little bit of detail there. Holding shift down to do the opposite of crease to create a mouth line. Oh, I don't like that too much, might go in a bit closer. Starting to get that. Use a bit of inflate here. Back to crease. And holding shift, Control Z, holding shift down to smooth it out a bit. I'm just sort of playing between the shift and the crease on reverse. And then inflate, holding control down for reverse to create a bit of a cupid's bow, crease. And you can see here we've really started playing with creating a form. Crease again to create a little indent under the chin. Everything's looking a little bit strange and lumpy, so I'm just going to hit on my wireframe and have a look. Now, there's a lot of detail going on there, so as I said, it's good to use the reduce brush to reduce those polygons. So I'm just going to use the reduce brush just to smooth things out a bit, because as I sculpt again, I start to get more detailed. Oh, I think my computer's having a bit of a crash. That's right, it's just catching up. Now down here I'm going to hit shift and smooth out this chin a little bit so I get rid of the lumps. G for grab. Just scroll back. Okay, turning the wire brush off. The last thing I'm going to do now is show you how to put the eyes in again, as I did in the previous tutorial, by hitting, where are we? By hitting something, new sphere. So there we go, hit new sphere and just add object, and again we're going to get these options of 2 or 1 depending on where our cursor is. We want 2, so we take our cursor out to the side and we click, we hit the scale and make sure that the global function is on, and left click and drag down to reduce the spheres to the size that we need them to be proportionately. We can always alter them a little bit later, and then grab whilst on global to position them in our head sculpt. Remembering we can always move them a little bit later, and maybe a bit too far out. Whoops. A bit back. And there you have it. Take global away, and we're still on grab. Control A to select everything, Control D to deselect. I just want to work on the head, so I don't want the eyeballs to get affected by my sculpting, so now I can start to sculpt down and create eyelids. And oops, there you go. Okay, so I'll start a new tutorial on creating more detail, but that's a good enough spot to start from. Control A, maybe stop it right there. Okie dokes.